Hello, I am not a real man and I am voicing my thoughts. If you know me, you've probably heard me saying this before, but I don't like zombie media. Any piece of media that solely focuses on zombies just never appealed to me, at all. Yes, not even that really popular one that you like and got invested in. Zombies in general are my least favorite monster, at least from the classical ones. To explain this, I first need to clarify the terminology a little bit. Zombie is not the same as undead. Yes, one can also be the other, but the two are different things. What defines a zombie in pretty much every iteration is the lack of agency. Hence the term mindless zombies. A dead body that is raised and puppeteered by a necromancer is a zombie that's also undead. But zombies can also be created by technology or by some kind of disease. The so-called zombie ants aren't dead, they've had their brains taken over by a parasite. Similarly, I'm sure there are a lot of examples of mind control technology turning people into zombies, but the only one I can think of right now is from the original SpongeBob movie, which I do like, but we'll get to that. Constructs such as robots, homunculi, and golems are also not zombies. Yes, they lack agency, but they were never people that turned into those things. They were built that way from day one. After I've explained all that, I think you can understand why I don't find zombies particularly interesting. A monster whose theme is lack of agency can't carry a story the same way other classic monsters do. Imagine if the smooth but predatory vampire, or the conflicted Frankenstein's monster, or the mysterious and calculating gray alien, were replaced by a lobotomized husk of a creature that just moves forward and dies. It wouldn't feel the same, would it? And that is the biggest problem with zombie media in my opinion. Instead of having the zombies being minions of a necromancer like the devil intended, they make them the story's main. Well, I can't even call them a villain/antagonist. A threat, I guess. And I know that the people who make said media think the same way I do, because as the story goes on, they tend to shift the focus from the zombies to the humans interacting with one another. And before you say that zombies represent a disaster, I'll ask this. What does a zombie apocalypse offer that any other disaster does not? How is it better than the sum of their parts, so to speak? Let's not be all negative, however. There are some zombies I do like. Or that I think are done better. Pretty much every story that puts zombies back to their place as lesser monsters and minions of the big bad guy. There are many such examples, from the aforementioned SpongeBob movie to the first season of Vox Machina. Although my favorite such example will have to be the Borg from Star Trek. You've all seen the meme about the Star Trek aliens being just standard fantasy races in space. Well, their zombie equivalent is the Borg Collective. Not only are they the coolest looking zombies I've ever seen, but they also hit all the right notes. Their alien way of thinking allows them to be incredibly dumb but also superhuman geniuses at the same time, and they assimilate people by forcefully implanting cybernetics into them, which is a lot scarier than any infectious bite could be. Also, their version of a necromancer, called the Borg Queen, is a bit of a hear me out for me. But maybe that's just the transhumanism speaking. Even if zombies are the only monster in a story, there's still a way to make it work for me. The Titans from Attack on Titan are basically zombies. Making them giant and giving them unique abilities was a huge improvement. It made them stand out from the crowd. I swear I only realized those puns after writing them. The abilities of each Titan could also allow the series to follow a Monster of the Week, or Monster of the Arc, type of storytelling. Keeping things fresh and interesting for longer. Sadly, not even that could save AOD from falling into the same pitfall other zombie stories do. Shifting the emphasis from people fighting monsters to people fighting people. Finally, perhaps my absolute favorite zombie in all media ever is without a doubt Jack from BioShock. Technically, by my definition he might count as a homunculus instead of a zombie, but he has an activation phrase, so I'd argue it counts. Here we got a case that goes against everything I've laid out previously. This is a zombie that isn't just the focus of the story, but the protagonist in a video game. The player's window into the world, the character that should have the most agency in an interactive medium, is a being that by definition lacks agency. And it works. I have no idea how Kenny and the gang managed to do this, but they did. That's one of the reasons I believe BioShock deserves all the praise it gets. Anyway, this is all for now. I don't know how to close, or if I'll make any more videos. Goodbye either way.